it's Danielle and I'm here to update you and let you know how we're doing since I haven't made a video in such a long time. First, I want to tell you about my delivery story. I was in labor for 3 days and it was the most painful, excruciating thing I think I've ever had to go through. It was 5 centimeters dilated and I was sent home every single time. Went in a week early, so it was roughly 6 days before my actual due days with contractions. And that went on for hours and hours, but nothing was happening. So they sent me home because the hospital was completely full and there was no way that they were going to do anything that day. The next day, I came in with contractions and exhausted, just absolutely exhausted because I had gotten no sleep because between my toddler and having contractions all night long, it just wasn't working out for me. So the doctor gave me a morphine shot in my butt and that was supposed to be for the pain, which it helped the pain, but I wasn't informed that when you do that, you risk the chance of stopping your contractions or what's going on. Basically cold turkey. So it stopped everything. Like I had no contractions. But I was able to rest and actually go to sleep. But I wasn't able to go to sleep until I had puked for like an hour. Because I got sick off of morphine. Any sort of painkillers or drugs makes me really sick. After I got a few hours rest, I went back to the hospital because I was having so much pain and still having contractions. Also, each time I went into the hospital, they would do a check and they would also do rimming, which is very, very aggressive. Like it's when you basically shove your fingers up and like you start losing what's it, fluid, but not having anything, like my water wouldn't break or anything like that. So on her due date, I came in that morning with totally different kind of pain. Mind you, I was going in every single day too because I was 5 centimeters and I wasn't sure with all those contractions how far along or if I had progressed. And I was terrified of delivering at home. But on her due date, I came in and the nurse sort of did an eye roll at me and they're like, so are we having a baby today? And I'm like, I think so. They checked me, they're like, well, you're still 5 centimeters, nothing's going on, your water hasn't broken, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, so discouraged, and they tell me you need to go walk around and see what happens for walk around for a few hours. The way that my daughter was positioned, I was not able to walk a lot or properly because she was on a nerve on the inside of my leg and literally I would collapse to the ground. I would just like reach out my leg to do a step and I would fall to the ground. Sometimes gracefully, sometimes not so gracefully. I was supposed to go for several hours, but I got to a point where I literally couldn't walk. I felt like she was gonna fall on the floor. So I went back to them before I was supposed to and told them this. I'm like, I'm in labor, like this is really painful. They put me back in the triage bed, which is this big room, and it's separated by curtains, which is hilarious. And the room was full and tons of monitors and you could hear everything that was going on. Nurse station was in the room and so you could hear everything they had to say about each patient, A, B, or C. And you knew which patient you were because it was stuck to your ceiling of your spot. So they literally thought I was crying wolf and not a big, it wasn't a big, everything I was going through was taken lightly and not a big deal. Nurse came in after a while and she's like, you're still 5 centimeters, your water hasn't broken. Basically gave me the option to go home. But told me there's no beds, there's no space, and that there was no way that I would be able to get an epidural because there wasn't any nurses to do it or an extra, like you have to have a room, you have to have the extra nurse, and there was none of that. And that if I did go into labor, that they would make a room for me but it's not ideal because there's no equipment. My mind was just blown. I told my husband right away, please call everyone in the family and have them pray that I get a room or that this works out the way it's supposed to, because I can't do this. This is too much. 10 minutes later, I start bawling my eyes out. I was put on the gas. It wasn't helping. In fact, just making me nauseous and wanting to vomit. And because I started crying and saying, like, mumbling, I can't do this, I was shaky, I changed into my labor and delivery gown at that point. I wasn't told to. We're given like the nurse, like, you know, like the ones from the hospital. I just pulled it out of my bag and put it on because I'm like, if I don't do it now, I'm literally physically not going to be able to do it later. As I started crying so hard, one of the nurses finally came in and said, you're going to a room, gather your things. And that happened within like 2 minutes. An epidural, and after that they broke my water, and this was all within 10 minutes, by the way. When they broke my water, I was 10 centimeters, so like instantly, as soon as they broke it. So what happened was the pressure of my daughter's cranium on like my pelvis and the bag, it wasn't able to break. I had a baby within 20 minutes, so I was in that room less than an hour. So thankful that everything worked out, and she did everything what she was supposed to, positioned right. The pushing was super easy. I was able to concentrate on the pushing instead of the pain. That is my delivery story. This is Brielle, and she is turning 3 months very soon, and she is so much fun. She just had her immunization shots, so we recently weighed her. She's almost 13 pounds. She was born on her due date, which was July 12th. She is a lot bigger than my son was when he was this age. It's just as strong as he was, which is kind of nice in the sense that she has been really good with her head. And she rolled over for the first time from her tummy to her back. She's a lot more high maintenance than my son was. She can be a little bit of a challenge, which is interesting. It's so hard not to compare them. I keep reminding myself that they're two totally different children. Or the more I've gotten to know her, the more I've come to appreciate her little diva side. She likes to be held. She likes toys. She starts batting her toys on her little playmat. I'm not sure if any other moms have done this before, but she will sleep like at an angle. She was born and she had so much fluid that it just really bugged her. So I kind of, like, when she sleeps propped up a little bit. As far as sleeping goes, she's such a good girl. She will sleep through the night, and she's been doing this actually for a while. I'll put her down the same time as my son, 7:30 or 8, and she'll sleep until 6:30 or 7. She doesn't nap that much during the day. Like during the day, she likes to play. One interesting thing about Brielle is that she's got 2 different colored eyes. One is kind of a hazel brown and one is blue. Hi. She loves the bath, which my son hated. He hated the bath. She just loves it. If you want to see cuteness overload, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I have so many pictures of her with her brother. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. My belly button looks like, it doesn't even look like a belly button anymore. Oh no, it looks so sad. Say hi.